Hey, happy morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I wanted to hop on and let's talk about the fact that the holidays are officially starting. Like tomorrow, as I record this live, is Halloween, and whether you have kids or not, let's just be honest, we're gonna be surrounded by sugar, surrounded by candy, and I'm gonna give you some advice today that you might be surprised by. You might not expect this to be the advice that I'm giving on how to manage your sugar cravings, but it's very donut diet advice. You know, I was talking to somebody recently about the donut diet, which is my new program that I released, and that is available until November 11th. And they said, well, why would you release a diet now, not January 1st? Well, because first and foremost, it's not a diet. It's a non-diet diet. Secondly, I released it at the time, I really think in the year that we need awareness around sugar the most. So you may not know this, but on the donut diet, the whole premise is eat a donut. Like how to allow yourself to give yourself permission and pleasure to eat things in quantity and in the right portion and without guilt. It is, good morning, Megan. It is the way for somebody to detox guilt in their life. And you're gonna be starting probably today, if not holiday parties are starting, surrounded, inundated. Basically people are throwing sugar at you, right? And it's so easy. Good morning, Patty. It's so easy to get sucked into this sugar trap. And then you say, well, I'm not gonna have any. I'm gonna be perfect today. I'm not gonna eat any of this, and then you eat one of your, a handful of candy corn or a piece of chocolate, and then you feel guilty, and what that turns into is you're like, well, whatever, I'll just keep grabbing a handful. I've already fallen off the wagon. Tomorrow I'm gonna be good tomorrow. And what I want to talk to you today about is to change the internal dialogue about I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good at this holiday party. I'm not gonna eat blank, blank, blank. I'm gonna be good about, like, why are we judging our value being good or bad and our character based on our food choices? And I think it's a society pressure that is put on us, and they're learned thought patterns. And so what I want to encourage you as you go into this holiday season prepping, this is relevant for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, for fall festivals, and up through Christmas. You're gonna be surrounded by sugar, and I don't want you to say sugar's the enemy. Now, do I think we should be aware of and minimize our sugar consumption? Absolutely. My personal training hat comes on, and I'm like, yes. There are times in my life and seasons of the year that I count my sugar grams. So I'm not by any means saying go willy-nilly, like eat whatever sugar you want. What I am saying is that sugar is not the enemy. The enemy is the way we think about food. I want to encourage you to stop moralizing food. Like this food is good and this food is bad. Because I ate this bad food, that means I'm bad. That sets us up for an emotional eating cycle or an overeating cycle. And then we feel guilty, and then we feel like crap the next morning, and then we beat ourselves up, and we constantly pick ourselves apart in the mirror. So to break this, as you're approaching into sugar season, let's just call this sugar season, I want you to give yourself permission to have pleasure with what you want. So rather than saying, I'm not allowed to have this candy, if there's a particular candy that you love, please have it. But don't just pull it from your kid's candy bag. Don't just pull it and eat it while you're walking around. Don't eat it while you're watching a screen. Give yourself a plate. Maybe you're not sugary, maybe it's a salty thing. Maybe you like chips and salsa. It's very different to eat chips and salsa on a plate with a cup for the salsa. Like just give yourself the privilege of having it in an enjoyable manner versus just pulling it from the bag. And the same thing goes for candy. So if you are craving something, my goal and my hope for you this holiday sugar and salt season is that you listen to what you actually want and then honor that. But then give yourself the gift to say, I'm gonna be fully present with this food and I am not gonna feel any guilt. And when you do that, when you can release guilt from your consumption, we find the ability, it's like magical how this happens. You find the ability to actually eat intuitively and to stay within a portion control. And if you scroll down on my Facebook page, I did recently post a repost from a consumer report on just how many calories are in some of these trial size sugar, Halloween fun candy things. You guys, it's very easy. I'm gonna say again, very, very easy, not just to consume an extra 100 calories. It's very, very easy to, without knowing it, consume an extra 1,000 calories just by taking a few things from your kids' candy and even saying, oh, I didn't do so bad. But again, it's not about being good or being bad or having willpower or not. It's about listening to your body. Do you want something sweet or not? Oh, cool. Well, that's good if you do. What is it that you want that's sweet? Do you want those Tootsie Rolls or no? You probably just want maybe a chocolate covered pretzel or whatever you actually are craving. Listen to what you're craving and give yourself that. And when your body learns that you're reliable and you have self-trust, magic things happen. And you guys, that's the whole premise of the donut diet. And if you're just joining us, what I was saying earlier is that someone said with Trish, it's so weird that you launching a diet and you're not making, it's not available after November 11th. When people are eating lots of sugar. That's not when anybody wants to diet. People want to diet in January, right? So why did I do the donut diet now? Well, because it's exactly what that is. It is an anti-diet diet. It is a diet to teach you how to interact with sugar, with real life food. It's a mindset. It is a eating solution for emotional eaters. And emotional eating, you guys, is anytime you eat, when you have emotions that are negative either before or after. So before could be stress, anxiety, overwhelm, guilt, shame, loneliness, or second could be the other side of it is, if you feel guilt, a negative emotion after eating is guilt, or I should have, or I feel bad, or I'm going to do better tomorrow, that bullying self-talk. So that is what I define as emotional eating, and that is what the donut diet will help you with. But my challenge to you, just to reiterate, and you can check out more about the donut diet at thedonutdiet.com or message me. I'm happy to help you figure out if it's for you or not. And the reality is that there is a 30-day money-back guarantee. I want to make this easy on you, risk-free, because freedom. We need to be able to. I think we deserve the right to have a donut and enjoy it without guilt. To eat some of your candy that your kids are going to have, or some your favorite holiday foods, and not say I'm going to do better tomorrow, or in January I'm going to be no sugar forever. Just be realistic. Let's be loving and kind to one another. And be kind to ourselves. And so today and tomorrow and going into this sugary season, my challenge to you is that you just listen to your body. What is it that you want? And would it be so bad if you just gave yourself full permission to say, it's okay to take pleasure in that? And then you were patient and you didn't eat it quickly. You didn't eat it in the dark. You didn't eat it once everybody went to bed. You didn't eat it, while you're mindlessly working. But you said, this is a wonderful part of life. Food is good. Food is pleasure. And I deserve that too. It's not a luxury. I don't have to earn this. I don't have to go work out longer. But I get to just enjoy. And I'm telling you from my personal experience and working with clients over the years, when we give ourselves permission to enjoy, that's when we're like, oh, okay, this was nice. And we don't overdo it. Sometimes we just eat half a cookie. We don't actually want the rest of it. So when you start learning to trust and talk to yourself, that's when intuitive eating happens, and that's when the magic happens. And that, my friend, is when your kids' candy bags can stay in the house and you don't end up worrying about, oh my gosh, I hope I don't eat it at night. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions about how to listen to your sugar cravings or not, and how to minimize your sugar while you do that, please post them and tag me. I'm happy to come back and circle back and continue this conversation with you. I would really encourage you, and I want to invite you to go try the donut diet, because it is a revolutionary approach to food. In that, I teach you how to reduce your sugar and also eat sugar in moderation. And if you're craving something, to give yourself the privilege and the permission to say, I'm allowed to eat whatever I want, and I trust myself to not overdo it. And we walk through exactly how to do it, how to detox your old thinking, your old thought patterns around food, and stop moralizing food so that it's driving you crazy and it's what you're always thinking about. But I want to encourage you, pick the candy that you like, and don't worry about the rest. Sometimes I think when we eat one piece of candy, we start guilting ourselves into going, well, you might as well eat all of it, right? Or you find yourself eating Twizzlers and you're like, I don't even like these. How is this happening? Please tell me I'm not alone in having been there. And that all starts with guilt. So my biggest challenge for you in this holiday season is to live guilt-free, to be free of guilt around food. Food is supposed to be a beautiful part of life, not something that makes us feel like we're good enough or if we were bad, or that determines our right to think that or feel beautiful. And it all goes in moderation, and I cannot wait to help you with that. We do that together in the Donut Diet, thedonutdiet.com, and listen to yourself, listen to your body. And sometimes when we think we're craving sugar, we actually aren't. We're just actually craving something like water. But we don't arrive at being able to know that we are craving sugar, just water, until we say it's okay if it is that, if I want something sweet. I think we feel guilty and say, well, I'm not supposed to want any candy, so I feel bad when I do, and then that already starts the guilt cycle, right? I feel bad, and then therefore, now I've already lost it. Then it becomes about willpower. It's not about willpower. if you give yourself permission to say, I'm allowed in moderation to have sugar. Now, I'm reiterating, I'm a firm believer in keeping your sugar low, but it's being mindful about it. Being mindful, and now it's interesting when you are mindful and you have it in small portions, it tastes better, it feels better, you want less of it, and you enjoy it more. And then when you get to that point, that's also when you're like, hey, you know what? I thought I was craving sugar, but I really was just thirsty. So I know this sounds maybe for you, some people high in the sky, but I want to encourage you to baby step your way into listening to yourself, giving yourself, as I teach in the donut diet, permission, pleasure, and patience. Okay, so here we go, sugar season, let's do it. Go check out thedonutdiet.com, and if you want any more just free, encouraging pep talks to remind you that you are beautiful, that you are enough, and that you can do hard things, that you, my friend, are an action taker and a dream chaser, and you are living your life by design, not by happenstance, not by obligation, not by accident. We don't stumble into the people who we want to be. We don't accidentally fall upon this perfect life that we want or fulfilling life. We do it by being intentional and by with purpose. And so for more resources on that, you got to check out my podcast show. It's The Confidence Podcast. Go to anywhere you listen to podcasts or directly on my website at trishblackwell.com/podcasts. Megan, you had a question. Your problem is that you don't feel guilty no matter how much you eat, so you eat a little bit much. So maybe, Megan, what I would suggest for you is just journaling what feels good. And when you, rather than the guilt, I want you to ask yourself, why are you eating? It's typically we eat when we're overeating out of boredom, out of fear, out of numbing, out of anxiety, or just to distract ourselves. So if you find yourself engaged in overeating, I would recommend that you slow down, just take a notebook out or some note cards and say, ask yourself this, what is it that I'm actually feeling right now? And what am I trying to fix by distracting myself with food? And then answer that as honestly as you can. And then if you feel like you can catch yourself in that, then I would recommend go brush your teeth, pop some gum in your mouth, distract yourself, go for a walk, get outside. Sometimes we just need a pattern change or an environment change to then go, wait, I'm not actually hungry. Oh, and then you go back to your note cards and say, why was it that I was eating again? Okay, so, and then start, our feelings and our emotions are these onions. We start peeling back, but we've got to be willing to ask ourselves, why am I feeling this? Why did I do that? Why does this feel good? Even though afterwards I eat too much and I feel uncomfortable, or I have a tummy ache, or even if I feel okay, maybe there's a weight loss goal and you're like, I'm disappointed because I know I just self-sabotaged, right? So I just want to encourage you, but it all starts with, it's not about your willpower. It's not about like being good or knowing your portion sizes. I mean, some of it I want you to know what's a proper portion size, but I think that we overeat our portion sizes, whether it's like a nutritional meal or whether it's candy. In any scenario, we overeat when we aren't paying attention to what we actually feel and what's actually going on. And so I want to encourage you to be emotionally brave enough to ask yourself those hard questions, because when we ask ourselves those hard questions, we start living by design, which goes back to what I was saying. When you live by design, you live by thinking about what matters to you and understanding how you're feeling. When you can manage your emotions, you can manage your relationship with food. And that is what's so stinking cool. So great question. And you guys, I will see you on the podcast, and I hopefully will see you in the donut diet. Any questions I can help you with, pop them below and I'll circle back.